Stephen Lucey and Dotsy O'Callaghan in studio with us. The balance from taking a huge number of positives from the manner in which you performed against Kilkenny with trying to get over the way you lost it, the fact that you lost it, the fact that you're back out onto the field just a week later. I mean, I'm sure they were devastated after the game.
Yeah, Dave, to be honest, it's like from one side of it, Dublin, from a hurling point of view, have not had a display like that in a number of years. So hugely positive to see the energy, the drive, the commitment to the jersey, which the management have obviously instilled in the team. So from that point of view, it was fantastic. I think the players and the management did see an opportunity there. Kilkenny were, I think they had 7 debutants there on the day. So I'm pretty sure that they really smelt an opportunity to go and win it. And you could see that the belief was there and they really targeted as well. Unfortunately, they didn't finish out the job. But I think there was a lot of Dublin supporters walking away from Parnell Park, hugely proud of the team and hugely excited about where it can go. Now, obviously, we Tommy mentioned there kind of a weak recovery, and Wexford maybe are coming in fresh now as well and have seen what Dublin are capable of. And we'll
in the same way that Dublin had Kilkenny lined up for weeks.
Exactly.
Wexford have been doing that to Dublin.
Yeah, and you could say that was a target all year for Dublin. Yeah. So it is massive, and it's that from a mental point of view, how Dublin can recover is going to be huge. I think even from the team point of view, they did a lot of physicality in the forward line. I really like the look of you have Danny Sutcliffe, Liam Rush and Conal Keaney in the forward line. Unfortunately, Conal Keaney, who had a great game, looks like he's obviously out for this week, so that's a massive loss. So they'll have to tamper that a bit, and it'll be interesting to see if Fintan McGibb is in there as well. So a different type of player who'll probably come in at wing forward and busy with huge work rate. Will get on lots of ball and will cause lots of problems, but wouldn't have the same physicality, say, as Conal. So they will have to change things around a little bit there as well. And obviously you're looking at the impact Liam Rush made. And, he's going to be coming up against Liam Ryan, a hugely physical player as well, and who's going to be totally ready and geared up and prepared for Liam Rush as well. So now, I don't know if you can prepare for Liam Rush too well if he's in that sort of form, but another credit to the management, the Dublin management, is I suppose the level of conditioning and the level of fitness there in lads was really, really good to see. And, some of the guys there, I don't think, you haven't seen them as fit and as agile in a number of years. So, Dublin are primed and they're in a position now where they've lost their first game. They're gone down to Wexford Park, and look, your championship life is at stake here. So, you'd be expecting another fully blooded display. And, I think they're going to need Liam Rush to have another huge game, and I think they're going to create goal chances and score goals if they're going to win the game.
Would you fear for them, Stephen?
Well, I would go a little bit with what the two lads have said. Can Dublin recover emotionally from that? That's a fierce blow to the stomach, having invested so much. They clearly targeted that match. They threw the kitchen sink at Kilkenny. To come out of it with just losing by a couple of points is a hammer blow, considering that I felt it was a free out for the foul when Blanchfield got the goal.
But it was coming in that Kilkenny were on top.
They were
suddenly all the momentum was with them. Did you put that down at the time to fatigue?
Yes, that's what I was going to say next.
Or was it they kind of just froze on the edge of the finishing line?
I think it was a little bit of panic the closer Kilkenny got to them, and just a little bit of fear at the finish line. It reminds me a bit of when we were playing football against Kerry. We were in front most of the matches, and then when it came to the finish line, we were kind of panicking and kind of trying to hold on, and Kerry just came through just because they knew they were going to win. It's a similar kind of scenario playing the likes of Kilkenny. It's nearly a mental block almost, but credit to Kilkenny. It's true for Brian Cody that whatever the final score is, all that matters there. I also fear that maybe they've shown their hand a little bit.
Surprise element is gone.
Yeah, to Wexford, but they had to. They clearly targeted that game, given that Kilkenny had 7 debutants, wasn't it? Yeah. Anyway, look, they played the game against Kilkenny the same way that Wexford approach. It's all guns blazing. It's helter skelter. It's fierce passion and intensity. So can Dublin bring that intensity, and will they be able to match and even go further? If they do bring it, will be for some humdinger of a game.
It's such a pity though, Dotsy, isn't it? I mean, look, we're both Dubs. We only have to open our mouth, and people will hear that. But if they were coming down to Wexford Park with 2 points, and on the fillip you get from beating a Kilkenny, it would be far easier for them to brush away the absence of Conal Keaney, and they're just taking this wave of momentum down to the sunshine to take on Wexford with them.
Absolutely.
But it just feels like, I know the result dictates everything, and here is a prime example of that. It just feels like the wind has been knocked from the sails.
I suppose that's where the psychological element is going to come into it, you know. And I suppose even talking about that, I remember 13 when we did manage to get over Kilkenny in the replay. We were literally going out to play a Leinster final 7 days later, and I could, you know, I would have bet the mortgage on us winning that game, to be honest with you. So that was the reality of it, you know, and the lift we got from that. And there's a lot of guys on that Dublin team who've played the last couple of years who haven't, to be honest with you, Dave, they haven't even played in a game like that. They haven't played in a game where they've really gone toe-to-toe with a top contender and shown that they could go on and win the game. So there's a lot of them are going to take huge confidence from that, and there's some really, really good players coming up in Dublin. So, look, you know, I know they didn't get over the line, but, I mean, I'd be expecting, you know, I think they'll get a lot of belief from it as well, you know, knowing that they're that close. But, look, it's all to see, and to be honest, it's going to be intriguing to see. I think in the first 10, 15 minutes, I'll be fascinated to see Dublin and their level of performance, because I think we'll get a good indicator of where the heads are at early on, you know.
What about Wexford? It was hard to know what to make of them in the league. They didn't quite take the league and maybe as seriously as they did last year when they were clearly targeting promotion from Division 1B. They didn't score from play in the first half in their defeat to Kilkenny, and they're obviously a side with real ambition to go a bit further than they did last year. Like, we're talking All-Ireland semi-final, All-Ireland final, maybe win a Leinster title. So have you got a grasp on where they are, or are they a little bit of an unknown quantity heading into this game tomorrow?
I think Davey would be very happy with where Wexford are at the moment. Last year was a breakthrough year. They did very, very well. This year it was key to build on it and develop some new players. I think they've done that. I think the O'Connors there are excellent. Having Jack Guiney there is excellent as well. They've got a solid spine. I think they're playing to a game plan. They believe in Davey. I think Davey is great at bringing people together, in that the team and the supporters and himself are all on the same wavelength, and you'll see everybody wound up to the hilt in the game at the weekend. I think that they beat Kilkenny in the Waterford, or in the Walsh Cup. They beat them in the league group stages, I think, and then I think they possibly were happy enough with that. I think they didn't want to fully go for it in the match, the knockout game against Kilkenny, I don't think. Whereas it was important for Kilkenny, it was more important for them to win it. So, but having said that, I think they are building, they're going in the right direction, and I'd be intrigued. I'm really looking forward to watching it.
Big question when you Pat Gilroy's sitting down to, he's obviously picked his team, but who goes where is who looks after Lee Chin. What would you be doing? Owen O'Donnell did so well on TJ Reid a week ago. Does he take Lee Chin? Is Sean Moran sweeping again?
I think you could see a situation now where you've Owen O'Donnell turning into a bit of a serious man marker.
Dublin's hatchet man.
Well, a hatchet man with a bit of class and a bit of style, like Stephen here. So I mean, Owen is a monstrous figure, and he's a really good hurler there. So I think he'd happily follow anybody who he's told to follow, and he'll happily embrace that challenge as well. So
Lee Chin is a talisman for them.
Yeah, I'd say you will see Owen probably, I would imagine, picking up Lee Chin.
And from what you know of Owen, is he the kind of character that embraces that kind of a role? We see it with Lee Keegan a lot with Mayo. Generally, Lee Keegan will be asked to look after their opposition's best player. Yeah. So you're taking on TJ Reid and Lee Chin in consecutive games, probably two of the top 5 hurlers in the country.
And he'll lap that up. He'll absolutely lap that up. And if he starts coming out early and I suppose upsetting Lee and winning balls and stuff like that, all these little things will give Dublin a lift early on as well. But Owen will certainly embrace that challenge as well, But I suppose going back to Wexford as well, I think that losing that last league game to Kilkenny, and probably in disappointing fashion as well, I think Davey will be nearly happy about that, and that's a little stick to beat them with about the last game in Wexford Park. Yeah, absolutely. So I mean, you'd be expecting they know the importance of this, getting off to an early win as well, and it's going to be all guns blazing, I'd imagine,
Yeah, I think Wexford Park is a bit of a fortress for them. Like, they really lap that up, and they'll be targeting certainly their home game. Certainly to this, it'll be a big blow for Wexford if they lose this, I would think. Yeah, and obviously it's such a fill-up for Dublin if they do it. Dublin pretty much out, and just targeting that game with Offaly if they don't win this game tomorrow. Do you give them a chance, Dotsy?
Oh, I do. Yeah, I do. I just think they're going to need to score goals. I think they're going to need 2 or 3 goals. And I just think they're going to need a spread of scorers as well, just from around the field, So it's going to be, I suppose. Do we know who's going to be standing over the freeze? Paul Ryan didn't have his best. I would imagine Paul. Last week, and you think he'll be on him again tomorrow. David Tracy, I think, is close to playing. Yeah, he's on the bench. Coming back from injury, actually saw him yesterday. He looked fine, but whether or not I'd say you'll see Paul probably. Well, I put Paul his name to start, so I'd imagine he'll be on them to start anyway. Yeah.